Hi, I'm Adele Sinclair from Wellness at Work. Today I'm talking with an expert in how to build cohesive teams. And today we're going to be talking about how we can help teams to be really resilient to stress that happens so often in the workplace. My guest today is Marcia Ryan. She's an expert in learning and development, and she's a Master of Applied Positive Psychology, and she specialises in building collaborative and high-performing teams. She helps individuals and leaders and teams to work with well-being and cohesion and high performance. Welcome, Marcia.
Thanks, Adele. It's great to be here.
So one of the challenges I wanted to talk with you about today was the challenges that people have in working in high pressure situations within teams, and often people are experiencing high levels of stress in the workplace. Can you share a little bit about what you've found in terms of the challenges that teams face when they're working under high pressure?
Sure. And look, it's a really big subject, and so I'll probably just talk a little bit about one particular aspect of that today. But when teams are under stress, change is constant. People react in different ways, and you find you're working with team colleagues and teammates that are going through change in a different ways, and maybe reacting in different ways as well. So quite often when a team or team members are feeling stressed, they're just either shutting things down, they're finding it difficult to communicate, they're finding they've got low energy and low enthusiasm to participate and to contribute to the team. So that really has a flow-on effect. That negativity really drags the team down and really slows down performance and outputs of the team. So the team sort of either sometimes moves into survival mode or just doesn't have the energy to get going, and they turn the lights on, but they're not really doing anything more than what's really required. And that just really doesn't lead to high performing teams, does it? So the impact of stress on teams not only impacts the individual and their well-being, but it impacts the performance of the team. And that can spiral down quite quickly. So it's really important to look at, well, how can we help a team deal with stress and build that resilience? And one of the quick ways of doing that is to form the type of conducive environment that gives support and energy back into that team. And so it's really that thinking as a high care team and concentrating on, are we taking good care of each other? Are we creating the type of environment? And am I contributing to that environment to make it the type of environment that I'm happy to turn up to and work in every day? So it's really like what's draining me versus what's energising the team. And when stress is a real drainer, what can we do to try and shift and lift some of that to try and up the energy a little bit more in the team and alleviate that stress?
Yeah, I love the idea of being a high care team. That sounds great. So how can individuals and teams as a group start to do those things that are going to help them have that energy and reduce that negativity?
Yeah, sure. So I talked about probably taking on that ability yourself, and everything usually starts with you. So what is within my control? What can I do rather than wait for the environment to change? So creating that environment starts with you in the small connections that you have with people in your day-to-day. So what I call high-quality connections compared to low-quality connections. So high-quality connections are positive connections that you are demonstrating in a very respectful way that you are there to support and give support to the other colleagues in your team. And so that's a real demonstration of engaging with another person in a respectful way. So what I mean by that is it's very simple to show your support by just being there and being attentive to that person. So first of all, you just show up and you're ready to support. So you're there, you're ready to engage, you're not distracted, you switch off your phone and you're there fully present. When I interact with you, I'm involved, I'm ready, and I'm here. So that's one step to show respectful engagement. Another step is to listen effectively. And even though that sounds so simple, I think that's one of the key challenges of a busy world, and maybe even where we're co-located, we're working in virtual teams. We're so pushed to get to the actions that we rush ahead and we stop. We don't always stop to listen. So if we can focus on respectfully engaging and supporting and caring for a person by listening more than talking, and it doesn't mean you need to come up with solutions, but just being there and listen effectively. So that's, through your body language, it's through paraphrasing, summarising, checking in, have I heard right? Is this what you're saying? And if you haven't interpreted right, they're certainly going to be able to clarify that for you. So listening effectively is really important. And then empathy is also important. And again, how do you demonstrate empathy? So empathy is really noticing how that person is feeling and making some sense or meaning of it, and moving that to compassion and showing, I talked about having a high care team. A high care team actually demonstrates not just empathy but compassion. And the difference between those two, I think, from what research says, is that compassion is not just showing empathy, but having the desire to take action to alleviate some of that pain. So how can I actually help someone work through what they're challenged with, and how can I take some small action to help them alleviate that frustration or that sense of challenge?
Great. Marcia, what's your sense of if people are open to those ideas but are feeling that they don't have the resources themselves because they're struggling a bit themselves, how would you recommend proceeding in that respect, where that they're wanting to but they're already feeling exhausted? How do we kind of balance that off, or what's your recommendation to move forward in that state?
Yeah, of course, it's a continuum, isn't it? So you can either be quite low on the continuum and feeling quite burnt out, very high stressed, and if you're at that end of the spectrum, then that's where you probably need to seek more help and maybe get professional help, go to your employee assistance program and get that help there. If we're closer to the spectrum of I'm feeling a bit stressed, I'm feeling a little bit anxious, I'm just a bit worn out, then there's lots of positive practices that you can do yourself to re-energize. So one way to re-energize is to go have a coffee with a friend and find that connection, that you do have that supportive person in your team or in your social connection, and re-energize by getting the energy from that good connection you already have with another person. So that's one way, is to rely on those good connections that you have to re-energize you and to alleviate your stress. So connecting with another person. And then another way is to just find some more positive energy into your day by boosting more positive emotions. So whether that's watching a funny video, phoning a friend that makes you laugh, there's lots of ways even just to walk out and get some fresh air that boosts your energy. So again, it's about, if you're being depleted from energy, what can I do to re-energize? And there's lots and lots of practical ways, and for each individual it's different. So I think you have to customize it to what works best for you, what energizes me, and am I taking active steps to put some time and focus into that? So today I'm talking about one positive energizer, which is connecting well with other people and forming those supportive relationships to help alleviate the stress in our day-to-day work and build those supportive relationships that are so critical for our own well-being.
Yeah, which then benefits us not only as individuals but within the team. So we started off talking about resilience within teams, but it's really interconnected, isn't it? The individual well-being flows through to the team, and the team well-being flows through to the individuals.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so connected, and I think it has that contagion effect also. So if you start and dealing with the challenges and dealing with your stress and looking to do that in a positive way and to energize, then that has a ripple effect in your team. And certainly that contagion effect, you decide, what sort of contagion effect do you want in your team? Do you want the negativity to keep dragging you down, or can you make a deliberate attempt to shift that negativity to a more positivity contagion effect?
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Marcia. So for people who would like to dig into this a little bit more and to learn more about how to build cohesive and resilient and collaborative teams, how can they find you? How can they continue learning from you?
Sure. You can find out a bit more about me and my program at my website, which is wellbeingworks.net.au, and connect with me there or through LinkedIn or Twitter, and to find out more about ways to cultivate collaborative teams.
Marcia Ryan, thanks so much for talking with me today.
Thanks so much, Adele. Lovely to see you.